Welcome. I'm so excited to present to you Elissa Freeman, author and international best-selling author of Elevate Your Mindset, and it is both an honour and a privilege to have a chat with you today. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Deb.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. So Elissa, why is mindset so important? I wanted to just jump into the juicy questions. Why is it so important?
It is very, very important. And I believe that everyone on planet Earth can transform their life given the tools and the support. The right support and the right tools, and anyone can transform. And it all happens in here. The way we think, the decisions that we make and why we make them, how we see the world. Because one person can see the world in a very different way to another. And you can see it when you look around in the world. You can see some people have amazing results, some people don't. And the reason that occurs is the way that we think. So yeah, it's absolutely very, very important. And it's something that I recommend everyone work on daily for the rest of their lives.
So what do you suggest that they might do for the people that are listening right now? Just give us sort of like an idea, maybe top 3 tips or top number 1 tip for how you suggest to move forward.
Well,
with
it
that.
depends on what they're struggling with, of course, but I think one of the 2 main problems that if you chunk down to any problem on planet Earth, if you go down to anyone's personal problem all the way down, deeper and deeper, you get to only 2 things, and that is lack of self-worth and lack of self-love. That's it. So it is actually, like, we call it work, but it's actually fairly simple. There's only 2 things to work on. And when we work on those, everything else unravels.
It's very, very powerful. I love that idea of chunking something down into a simple 2 things at the very bottom. That is the key, that unlocking that really opens so many doors to somebody's well-being and wellness and mindset, which is so important. So you're all about mindset, and I know that you're this very sort of multifaceted person, and I wanted to understand what's the most common reason that people don't change their life. I'm fascinated by that.
Well, I think that mostly it's because they don't know how. And of course there's some fear that can come up around change as well, because if you've never been there, it can be a little bit scary sometimes. But change doesn't kill us. We actually survive, we live through it, and we have a better life afterwards. I think that it's mostly that they don't know how and fear.
So not knowing how and that idea of fear, there's some pretty amazing research out there around fear. And I'd love for you, if you could, to share a little bit more around fear and what that really is. And,
I would love to.
Go for it.
So how I see it is that fear is hardwired into our brain. It's a very, very ancient part of our brain, probably the first that was developed. And we have fear because it protects us from dying. And that's all this part of the brain is working towards, is our survival. It wants us to be able to live. And if it's outside of what we know, it might kill us. So if you imagine we're cave people back in the caves in ancient times, and we have fear to make sure that we fit in and we don't step outside our comfort zone, so that we are accepted and we stay alive. And of course, if we do something very different, perhaps that will get us killed, or our tribe will say, we don't want you anymore, you have to go away. Now, if we have to go away in those times and leave the cave, we'd probably freeze to death, or a saber-toothed tiger will come and eat us. So it meant death. So fear and death in that part of the brain is completely together. So that's just, it's one thing.
A powerful connection.
It's a powerful connection. So so I think that these days, of course, those things aren't going to kill us, but that part of the brain still drives it. And it really is about overcoming it. It's okay, this thing that I'm going to do is not going to kill me. Whether it be asking someone out on a date, whether it be getting up on stage, whatever it might be, being intimate and vulnerable, any of those things that we often have fear and even things such as snakes and spiders, any of those fears, when we need to take steps to prove to that part of our brain that it doesn't kill us, that we can do these things, and it can actually be quite exciting.
It sounds super exciting, and I think that it's so poignant what you say around fear, and that they're from ancient times, our mind has evolved to think that, being pushed out by the clan or being left alone and eaten by a saber-toothed tiger created the fear, and so staying alive and survival was so important. And we've evolved from that brain, and in fact we are more evolved and sort of modern human beings, or Homo sapiens, but we have this thing from the past that's still with us. And I guess how many of us really, and this is to all of us here, how many of us have been kept awake at night worrying about what might happen when in reality it doesn't usually happen. That thing that we're most fearful about, what we're most worried about, doesn't usually then play out.
Yes, that's right.
And it's fascinating that our mind can even go there and anticipate all of these dangerous situations, and the whole body responds as if it's actually happening.
That's right. And Deb, even if it does happen,
yeah,
it usually doesn't kill us.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's very, very powerful. I think that I love this book. I love it, and I'm so thrilled it's about mindset and that you've contributed to this. And it's called A Creative Mind, and I love that. I know that your background is in the creative arts, and you're a coach, and you're an amazing woman in that right, where you can blend creativity and mindset together and take it to the next level.
That's right.
And teach so much around that, and coach so much and inspire. And so, where can we get this book?
You can get this book from my website, so elissafreeman.com.au, and there'll be a tab there with the book, which you can purchase it then.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so thrilled to be able to have a chat with you today, Elissa. And for those of you out there who want to grab a copy of this, is absolute gold inside of here. And thank you so much for your time, Elissa, and for sharing so much gold and knowledge and value here today. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Deb. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.